So the other day, I was looking on the shelf behind me and thinking about some of the other games besides Dungeons & Dragons that I really loved over the years. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to talk about my top 5 non-D&D RPGs today on Greyhawk Ragnar. Now, for this list, I wanted to have some guidelines. So I deliberately exclude retro clones and things like that because otherwise it would just be filled up with clones of first edition. So I wanted to make sure I didn't have too many TSR games in there. I put one in because I had to. But on the whole, these are games that I've actually played in the past. And that's pretty much it. So first, we've got 2300 AD, also known as Traveller 2300, and this is a terrific game. It's kind of crunchy in terms of the level of complexity, but what I like about it is the feel of the setting, because it takes place obviously in the year 2300 or thereabouts, and it's kind of leading into Traveller, which happens many thousands of years later. But what I like about this is that it feels like that particular genre of 80s sci-fi movies that has a very gritty, lived-in feel, like Alien, Aliens, Outland, movies like that. Was it Cyborg? There's a whole bunch of movies like that have the same overall feel and which I really love, and that this really captures it really well. There's the number of planets that are settled is very limited. The equipment. Let me see if I can find a good example here. I didn't plan this well. So like. You can see like the equipment looks kind of like the rifles in Aliens. It has this terrific map showing all of the systems within a short distance of Seoul. I mean, it's just a really, really nice put together game. I kind of prefer the original to 2300 AD, which the original was called Traveller 2300. Not too many changes mechanically. It's all, it's kind of just cleaned up a little, but on the whole, I really enjoy this one. Gonna have a lot of sci-fi in this. Next up is the FASA Star Trek role-playing game. There have been a ton of Star Trek role-playing games over the years, and the FASA game was clearly my favorite. It's a skill-based system, so you've got dozens and dozens and dozens of skills. It is a very typical FASA product, so it's got lots and lots of detail in terms of the rules and everything. It's the master skill list is right here. You get like dozens of them, and everything is based on that. Obviously, if you're in different parts of Starfleet, you have different default skill sets. There are expansions for Klingons and Romulans and merchants and things like that. One of the best things about this game was its Star Trek Starfleet combat game, which was essentially a rival to Starfleet battles back in the day. It is just a terrific, very simple and very fun game to play, and it's a perfect add-on to this. They have rules. A lot of games have tried to do stuff like this, where they try to translate what you are in the role-playing game into the ship-to-ship game. So if you're the engineer in the game, you control the power on the ship in battle and stuff. that doesn't work out all that great. It's a little clunky, and it feels in a lot of cases like you're just making up something for somebody to do. It works much better when you take a step back and just start controlling some chips on the board. But in terms of the role-playing game, this is fantastic. There's a ton of adventures and supplements for it. One of my favorites was there was one of the adventures. They go back to the planet Xeon and Echoes from the Star Trek episode with the Nazis, and one of the holdouts has a nuclear weapon, and you have to go get the nuclear weapon away from the fanatics. It's really cool. It's a great adventure. Next up is going to be one that might not be too well known to a bunch of people. This is Ringworld by Chaosium, and it uses their basic role-playing game as the engine for it. So it's going to be very well known to a lot of people. But what makes this game special is the setting. It's based in Larry Niven's Ringworld series, which is also known as the Known Space series. It's got a bunch, there's a bunch of books in the series that span hundreds of years. The game obviously focuses on the Ringworld itself, which is this massive orbital around a star, and it's the size of many millions of Earths and such, so there's lots to explore. But what I found this really good to do is to actually set games in other places in Larry Niven's universe. So I ran a game a long time ago where the players never went to the Ringworld, and they weren't expecting to. It was all set in on a colony called We Made It, which is a place in the books. And it was just a grand old time interacting with Kzinti and puppeteers and factions on Earth and stuff. It was it's much more flexible and adaptable than the name might imply. So it's based on basic role playing, so you're going to know what's going on. There were some articles in various places. I got one article I did was for dolphin player characters, because in the books dolphins are sentient, and you can have robotic arms attached and stuff. It's pretty fun. So again, another terrific game from Chaosium is going to be the one you expect. It's called Cthulhu. This is been around forever. Played it a lot in college. It is, everybody knows the premise. You're an investigator looking into weird happenings in the 1920s, and a lot of times it devolves into more of an action adventure pulp game, because you're throwing sticks of dynamite at old ones and things like that. But it really is best when you are going through and investigating and picking up clues and trying to figure out where the next link in the chain is. Again, it uses the basic role-playing engine, which is a terrific D100 based thing. It's all skill-based, so it's really a lot of fun. There's a lot of detailed information in the game about the setting of the 20s and all kinds of things. So and obviously there are a ton of expansions and adventures and such. So it's definitely worth looking into. But my number one favorite non-D&D role-playing game is this guy. Marvel Superheroes, the original from TSR back in the day when they had the license from Marvel. This hit at just such the perfect moment for me because this was obviously I was very into RPGs, very into TSR at the time. It was the height of my comic book involvement. Collecting. I was a Marvel guy. I collected every Marvel title for a while. I loved the obscure little ones, Kazar and Rom Space Knight and things like that. So but of course always all the X-Men and everything. And this was in my opinion, the best time of comics, of Marvel comics. planets, you know, when you had Magneto was still a bad guy, and, you know, you had the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants fighting them, and Doctor Doom was at his height. You know, it was just really fun stuff. They weren't trying to send messages, they were just trying to entertain. And this had the advantage of being able to use a lot of the original artwork. Obviously, it had the whole cast of characters. It just hit at the right time, and it has just a terrific unified system. See if I can find it here. We've got the universal table, and it's perfect because you have a for any given skill you have a strength, everything from feeble to unearthly, and if you have green, yellow, or red, that tells you what the effect is going to be. So if you roll and you roll across here, so if you roll and let's say you have excellent in a skill, and you roll and you get green, it's a hit. If it's an agility thing, if it's a strength thing, if it's an endurance thing, it has different effects down here. So I mean, right there, that's the system. It's beautiful. The whole combat book is just terrific. I mean, and the artwork, you know, just to take one here, you've got the Thing beating up a bunch of Skrulls. I mean, it's just so perfectly captures that era of the Marvel Comics, like I say, where it was just there to entertain, and they had, you know, outlandish plots, and they were starting to have the overall overarching plots that could last across different things. This was the time of Secret Wars, the original Secret Wars, where they, you know, let's just find an excuse to get every one of our bad guys together with every one of our heroes and have them fight. You know, that kind of thing, which, you know, when you're 14 is just amazing, and it's exactly what you want. So anyway, those are my top 5 non-D&D RPGs. I would love to hear in the comments what you think about these games. I want to hear your list, so please do let me know in the comments. You know, what would your 5 be? No retro clones. Although I should point out there is a retro clone of this called Face Rip out there, so it's definitely available. The Ringworld is not in print, obviously. Neither is the FASA Trek, nor is Traveler 2300, alas. But anyway, hope you enjoyed this one. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I will talk to you soon. Thanks for watching today's video. Please remember to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Below you'll find links to my Patreon, which helps make these videos possible. You'll also find the web store where you can buy my books, and my blog where you'll find all sorts of free downloads and other articles. Thanks, and have a great day.